Greetings, it is Friday afternoon. I normally do these on Sunday, at least lately I have anyway. Thought I would mix it up, mainly because I've been sitting indoors for the past 3 days working on stuff and needed a break, so decided to come out here. I can't take enough of a break to actually build anything new or start any new projects, but it's nice to stand up and do something other than sitting down for a little while. So I thought I would do this video. I've got in my hand here a bottle of glue that I bought 2 years ago that I never even opened. I never used it. And I wanted to use it about, 3 weeks ago to do something, to try it out on something. I think I might have had to do something with that glue. I was going to do a kind of a glue test. But this put the kibosh on that because I couldn't use this. And I wasn't going to go buy another one. Why? Because this sucks. You know why this sucks? Because it's almost rock hard inside this container. All right? I'm going to hold it up to the mic so you can hear. Hear it crackling? It's hard. And like I said, I never even opened it up. It's still sealed. So part of that's my own fault for leaving it sit around for 2 years. But I don't know how long it took for this to happen, because obviously it's at an advanced stage, because I don't hear any liquid sloshing around in there anymore. So you can see on the bottom here, like it's separated from the side, you know? It's completely pulled away from the side, and there's no liquid there. So useless, garbage. I don't know how much I paid for it. I bought it 2 years ago in an order with 3 bottles of this actually. So I actually gave away a bottle, and I kept 2 bottles. So I have 2 bottles like this hardened up. I'm sticking with this stuff here, or even better is the new variety, the gray stuff, although this is better for woodworking if you need glue joints that better match the wood. The other stuff, it stays that gray color, which is kind of odd. And also wood glue, of course. People think I never use this, but I do. I just recently decided that this is the best glue bottle you can get. Okay, it doesn't have to be this particular brand. It doesn't even have to be this particular type of nozzle, although I do like this, all right? I like the cap being separate, and then that slot. You can lay down a nice bead. I like that, okay? And you can unscrew it and clean out the nozzle if it gets dirty. But you know what? It doesn't happen with this size of glue bottle. This is 150 milliliters. I have no idea how many ounces that is, but it's this size right here. I don't know how much I paid for it, but I bought like 5 bottles of it. And I've already gone through most of one, and I've started on the next one. Okay? And the reason why I did that is because I'm not going to be buying any more of those big 1-gallon bottles of glue anymore, because, okay, they last for years if you're only doing this like I am. Like I put out a lot of projects, but I don't use a lot of glue overall. And I'm sure that most hobbyists don't either. I mean, the most glue you're going to be using is for a single project. Go buy a small bottle of glue like this, and then if you use it up, use it up. Buy a new one. Because those big 1-gallon bottles, they sit around, and then if anything gets in it, like if you try to thin it, it's going to start growing mold inside there, all right? This black mold that's going to grow inside there. And then you're going to try to get rid of that, or you're going to have to throw it away, which is probably the best thing. Okay? So this is what I'm buying from now on. I'm not even going to go to the bigger one. You can get the, the 500 milliliter one. Not going there. I'm staying with the small one. In the title of the video, it says it finally happened. And what that is I'm not sure if it was on the video where I built this, or if it was on the video on this channel where I talked about it. But somebody made a suggestion, and it was actually a good one. So that's what finally happened. Out of the, what seems like 1 million comments I've gotten over the years, one turns out to be valuable. And it has to do with this thing back here. I'm sorry I can't say who made the comment. I should have looked this up before I came out. Really doesn't matter. I mean, you can go and look at it. Anyway, I'm acknowledging it here. It's a really good idea. He said, what if you made this part, rather than making a rectangular or square like that, why don't you make it round? So that you don't have to monkey around with it. And that was awesome idea. That's not just a good idea. That's a John Heiss-worthy idea. Awesome. So you make it round so that it hooks in there, and you don't have to play with it to try to orient it the right way. So yes, it finally happened. I finally got a recommendation that I can use. I dropped my knob. What else can I talk about? The wood that was standing up there, most of it anyway, and also wood. This is all red oak that I bought a few months ago. That was out on my front porch, okay? And some of the stuff that is out on the lumber rack that I built on the side, like the back side of my shop here, I brought it in, I stacked it up down here by the wall because I was thinking about it, and I want to use this lumber soon. So it has to stay nice and dry. Now it'll stay nice and dry outdoors in the winter as long as it doesn't, as long as it stays cold and dry, like no rain. But over this past fall, we've had days when it has snowed and blowing snow, and it blows snow on top of the wood, and then, a few hours later it warms up and the snow melts and it's making the wood wet. So I brought it in here, I stacked it up there, along with the stuff that was already in here, taking up space behind me over here, and that's my new lumber rack, at least temporarily. This lumber rack up here has turned out to be, okay, it's kind of handy because I have stuff up there that normally would be standing around here somewhere or taking up space standing over there somewhere, very much like this stuff would. However, I don't find myself using the material that's in there very often. Like, I know there's stuff in there, but it's not very often I go to it to get something down. Now, that may change over time, but I mean, the good thing is, of course, is that it's not as unsightly as an open lumber rack that collects dust. So that's the good thing. But the bad thing is that it's closed and you can't immediately see what you have there so you can select through it. You actually have to open it up and look, and that's one more step that makes it so that you don't do that. When I built that, like my clothes scrap closet down here, that's perfect. I mean, all the scrap is in there. If I need some small piece of plywood, small piece of solid wood, like hardwood, softwood, whatever, it's in there. I open the doors, I rummage around in there. This, however, really only has longer pieces, so it has to be a project that's big enough before I'll even think about looking up there. I've had a few people ask about the plans for the table saw, when they are going to be available, and at this point, I can't say when that's going to happen. Like I said before, this is a big one here, so it's going to take some time. And making plans, at least for me, at this point in my life, I can't start and stop. I have to start today and finish at some point X in the future and do nothing else, in the meantime. So I can't do a couple hours on it today and then go work on a project and then come back to it in a couple of days again. That's not going to work. I have to sit down and bowl through the entire thing, and then I'll get it done. But before that happens, though, there were a few changes that I wanted to make to the original design to improve upon it. Some things that I've noticed in the build here, nothing major, like nothing that is making it so it's not usable or inferior in any way. It's just improvements that I've discovered, mainly while building the saw. Like, everything's working great, but there are things that can be improved. One of those, the biggest one of those, is the way that I built this with the idea that why am I holding on to focus? I don't know. The upper part was separate from the base. I think that's a stupid idea, so the whole thing will be all in one. There were a few other things that could be improved on the inside as well. You know, that big trunnion that I made, that was really a good idea, but it could be improved a little bit. So there's lots of little, you know, things here and there that I want to go through the design and sort out and nail down before I actually sit down and start making the plans from it.
Kind of busy here.
I understand. I'll keep it real short then. I'm on my way out of town, but I was wondering, do you mind if I sit down? Carrying a bit of a load here. Yeah, it's this vehicle I asked you about yesterday. I was just wondering.
Yeah, like I told you, we haven't had any vehicles go missing.
Okay. Are you sure? 'Cause I mean, how do you know?